Video footage shows a Russian soldier attempting to fend off a Ukrainian drone, at one point resorting to throwing debris from an infantry fighting vehicle at it. A video circulating on social media depicts a Ukrainian first-person view FPV drone forcing a Russian soldier to surrender. The drone captures the occupier. He resisted very strongly, read the video caption posted by Ukrainian military journalist Andriy Tsaplienko on Telegram. In the video, which Media Ukraine could not independently verify, the Russian soldier is seen trying to ward off the Ukrainian drone, even in desperation throwing pieces of metallic debris from a damaged infantry fighting vehicle, IFV, at it. But the drone from the 79th Brigade had both time and persistence, ultimately forcing the enemy to raise his hands and walk toward Ukrainian positions, the report said. Earlier this year, Ukraine's West Operational Command released another video with a similar caption. A Mavic drone captured a Russian soldier, adding, "The future has already arrived. Now our drones are capturing Russian soldiers." A drone operator assigned to the front line conducting reconnaissance managed to fool the enemy troops, and from that footage showed the Russian soldier observing the drone overhead, then eventually walking towards it as it leads him to a point where he can surrender to Ukrainian forces. In an interview with media, a Ukrainian aerial scout explained that the drone had guided the soldier to a safe surrender point, and sometimes a Mavic drone drops a note saying, "Go surrender, you won't be harmed, and they'll feed you," he told Media Ukraine. The scout also added that the Mavic drone operator can even nod or shake the UAV's camera to indicate yes or no. In January, the 95th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade published footage showing a Ukrainian soldier who had been captured by Russian forces and held in an enemy trench, successfully being guided by a drone back to Ukrainian lines. Since the invasion of Ukraine, Russia's forces continue to pay a record price in personnel and equipment losses amid Vladimir Putin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, according to figures by Kyiv. Russia has suffered record losses of personnel, armored vehicles, and artillery systems, Ukraine's defense ministry said in its latest update on Thursday. According to the report, over the previous day, Russia had lost 17 armored fighting vehicles, taking the total loss of this equipment since the start of the war to 18,450. Kyiv's figures for October claim that Russia had lost 903 of the vehicles, which is the highest monthly total since February 2022, beating the previous record of 889 recorded in March 2022 at the start of the war. Russia doesn't publish its military losses, and analysts are skeptical of reports released by both sides, while Ukraine also said Thursday that 91 cars and cisterns belonging to Russian forces had been lost over the previous day, taking the wartime tally to 27,840. Drilling down into these numbers for October showed that over the last month, there were record losses of this equipment of 2,340, beating the previous high of 2,103 in July. And Ukraine's estimate of Russia's artillery systems has also surpassed the milestone of 20,000, reaching 20,013 on Thursday. Meanwhile, on the metric of troop losses, which includes those both killed and injured, Russia continues to pay a huge cost in personnel, according to Kyiv. It said on Thursday that there were 1,560 Russian casualties over the previous day, taking the total for the war to 693,640. The monthly tally for October reached 40,520, the highest of Putin's full-scale invasion, beating the previous record of 38,940 in May this year. And Ukraine says its figures are approximate. Getting an accurate number for Russian losses is difficult, with neither side publicizing the toll in personnel or equipment in the war. and Russia has not updated its official figure of troop losses since September 2022, when it said that just under 6,000 soldiers had died. Ukraine is also tight-lipped about its personnel losses, although in February 2024, President Volodymyr Zelensky said 31,000 Ukrainian troops have been killed, which is lower than other estimates. Russian forces are making incremental gains in Donetsk, but they rely on infantry-heavy assaults that generate high numbers of casualties in what are dubbed meat grinder tactics. The chief of the defense staff for the British Army, Admiral Sir Tony Radakin, said in July it would take 5 years to replenish the Russian army to where it was before the start of the war. However, Moscow is reportedly able to call on around 30,000 new recruits each month. Other than that, its force numbers will be boosted by North Korean troops, around 10,000 of whom will be sent to Russia to fight, according to the Pentagon. On Tuesday, the Secretary of Ukraine's National Security Council, Oleksandr Litvinenko, told Parliament that the army planned to recruit another 160,000 people. Kyiv announced a fresh mobilization drive Tuesday as Moscow seized the mining hub of Selidov, and the U.S. said some North Korean troops were in Russia's Kursk region, warning that thousands more were on their way. Russia has been making swift advances in the eastern Donetsk region for weeks, and on Tuesday said it fully captured Selidov, whose estimated population of around 21,000 people has fled from Moscow's drone and rocket attacks. Concern has grown in Kyiv and the West over North Korea's military cooperation with Russia, with neither the Kremlin nor Pyongyang denying that the reclusive country's troops were in Russia. The Pentagon said a small number of Pyongyang's troops have been deployed in the Kursk region, where Ukrainian forces have held onto land since summer. Its spokesman, Major General Pat Ryder, said the U.S. had information that a couple thousand more North Korean troops that are either almost there or due to arrive imminently. President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke with South Korea's president Tuesday and agreed on deeper cooperation, while Ukraine has been struggling with deepening manpower shortages over recent months and is embroiled in an unpopular debate about how to bolster the military's ranks. On Tuesday, the Secretary of Ukraine's National Security Council, Oleksandr Litvinenko, told Parliament that the army planned to recruit another 160,000 people. An AFP source said the recruitment would take place over 3 months.